Welcome along, fellow time travelers. This time around, I'm going to show you some more images that I shot in and around Asheville, Old Fort, and Lake Lure, North Carolina. You're going to see some really disturbing images. Before I begin, please like and share the show and subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell. Now please join me on my journey. A lot of people wonder why I'm so interested in this subject matter, and many of you may already know that my home was destroyed by a tornado many years ago. It was a nightmare for anybody who's ever experienced anything like that. Nobody expects it. And then one day you come home and your home is gone. Our roof was collapsed, walls were collapsed, windows were blown out, house was flooded, possessions all destroyed. Horrible, horrible situation. And then to make matters worse, you're fighting with the insurance company. Not for a few hours, not for a few days, not for a few weeks, but for months and months and months, where they drag it out and they throw all sorts of walls and bridges in your direction. And dealing with contractors, honestly, was no thrill either. We were ripped off by one of them who got in a hell of a lot of trouble, that I can tell you, and some others that tried to rip us off and didn't get away with it. And so I just think, and this is sad to say, that the world is filled with all sorts of miserable people, sadistic people, horrible people, vile and corrupt people. You've seen it in your daily life. And I remember that when I finally got home, right? Everybody just wants to go home and to be able to shut their door. And it's like that scene from St. Elmo's Fire where, she was telling Rob Lowe, I have my apartment and I went into the fridge and I got my bread, and I got my peanut butter, and I got my jelly, and I made my peanut butter and jelly, and it was my bread, and it was my peanut butter, and it was my jelly, and you know what? It was the best peanut butter and jelly sandwich I ever had. I'm not quoting it exactly, but if you've seen the movie, you know what I'm talking about. Everybody wants to be able to shut their door and be home. And so I thought, the only good that can come from the misery that I had to endure for 10 months, 10 miserable freaking months, is that now I've got all this knowledge in my head, and I wish I could share it with people. And then I see what happened here. I see what happened, and I know what these people are dealing with. The difference is I knew I was getting home someday. It was going to take a while, but someday I was going home. I was going to be able to shut my door and make my freaking peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And there's a lot of people here that are never going to be able to go home. Their land's gone. Their house is gone. It's just a horrible, horrible disaster. The footage you're looking at right now, by the way, is just on the outside of the Arts District in Asheville. Look at all the freaking mud. This was only about a week or so after, right? So they cleared the road, but my God. And so one of the reasons that I'm doing this is, many of you know that my main interest in life, because I've written books and done documentaries, is historic homes and gardens and neighborhoods and urban planning and urban design and design psychology. These are the things I'm interested in. And I thought, well, you know what? Let me do what I can to help people when I can. But at the same time, let me document this, because these areas are going to come back someday. And someone's got to be out there documenting this so, they could look at these videos in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, 50 years, 100 years, whatever, 500 years in the future, and be like, wow, look at how it evolved. Look how it had changed. I don't mean just cleaning up the mess. I mean new construction or whatever they're going to do with the space. And at least we're doing it. But let me tell you, there's a lot of angry people out there, and they have every right to be angry, because I thought, well, all right, I'll go back, once a week and go out there and shoot and, show the evolution, how things have changed. Well, not everything's changing. I mean, look at this mess. This is Old Fort right now, right? And you've got people working their butts off day in and day out, but it's just so much. And it's neighbors helping neighbors, and it's good people like you helping others either financially or by donating things, but not getting any help from FEMA. And so what I wanted to do was actually read some of what people are talking about on X and to encourage some of you to maybe follow some of these people on X, because there's a lot of great information out there and you're just not going to find this stuff on the media. And so you've got a gentleman named Matt Van Swol. I hope I'm saying his name right, Matt. If not, I apologize. But he's a good dude. He's got about 40,000 followers at the time of this recording. So you might want to follow him at Matt_Van Swol, VANSWOL. And so he just posted this 20 minutes ago. He said, breaking, officials are reportedly not answering the phone of desperate #WNC victims trying to get their donated campers permitted for electricity. No permit, no electricity, no heat. Even the reporter admits, quote, I tried calling for days and only got an answering machine, end quote. Horrible, right? Horrible. Just not getting any help at all from FEMA. The image you're looking at, by the way, right now, is I drove into Lake Lure. And it was a bit deceiving at first, because this area right here, I'm like, well, where's all the damage? You would think it would be worse. But this gives you a good idea of how people are living there. But the houses are really elevated, as you could see, right? And so there wasn't going to be much damage for there, because even if the lake rose quite a bit, the houseboats are going to, be flooded, no doubt about it. But the houses are high up, and so you've got that, which is great. So anyway, I'm going to read some more of Matt's X, whatever they call them, tweets, not tweets anymore, Xeats, I don't know, whatever you call them, in the future, because he's got some great information. You also have another gentleman, WNCHeatFairy, and this guy is doing a great job as well. And so his latest tweet, he's actually got a Gift Send Go link, and I'm going to go ahead and put that down in the description. And what this gentleman does is he creates steel barrel wood-burning heaters for the areas visited by Hurricane Helene. And he's seeking donations to help cover his expenses. So he's a good dude. Go ahead and check him out as well at WNCHeatFairy. So check him out on X. And then there's another gentleman who I've become friendly with. His account is Frank Fighting for Freedom at ThinkankFranks. And it's a good guy as well. And I highly recommend that you go to his Buy Me a Coffee link, which I will post below. Help this gentleman out as well. He's hoping to reach people with bigger platforms. I'm doing what I can. I've got about almost 75,000 followers here on YouTube, and I want to be able to use my platform, but I'm no Joe Rogan. But Frank wrote this 30 minutes ago, as of the time of this recording. He wrote this to Joe Rogan. You've probably heard about what's going down in Western North Carolina, right? Hurricane Helene hit hard, and now with the National Guard pulling out, there's some serious issues. People are literally sleeping in tents, and not in the fun, camping in the woods kind of way, but in the middle of winter with snow on the ground kind of way, with no resources. Your podcast reaches millions of people. It's not just about UFC or psychedelics, but you've also got this knack for diving into real-world issues. This situation in North Carolina is one of those stories that needs to get out there. We're talking about fellow Americans facing some of the harshest conditions without proper shelter. Here's where you come in. 1. You've got a platform. You could really shine a light on this. Your listeners, they care about the real shit like you do. And with the failed disaster response and the pulling out of the troops, this is about as real as it gets. 2. The National Guard is supposed to be the last line of defense, the ones who step up when shit hits the fan. They're gone and people are freezing. 3. Your show isn't just entertainment, it's a conversation starter. If you bring this up, it could spark a national dialogue. Maybe get some other big voices on board, or even some of your military guests to weigh in on why this is happening. You're all about giving a voice to those who need it, about speaking truth to power, and this exactly that kind of situation. It's about more than just politics or policy, it's about human beings in need. Could you lend us some of your time? Thanks, Joe. Frank Fighting for Freedom, and all American citizens concerned about Western North Carolina. Now, I have no idea if Joe Rogan is ever going to listen to this video or see this video or find out about it, but Joe Rogan, I am not difficult to reach. You can find me quite easily, and I will put you in touch with Frank, or you can reach him directly, and some of the other good and kind and decent and genuine and warm and loving and strong people in Western North Carolina who are doing their best, like me, to try to get the word out, because the mainstream media just doesn't care. And if it's not for people like us doing what we're doing right now, no one's going to see what's happening. And so we're doing the best we can. If there's anybody out there with larger platforms, go ahead and spread the word. If anybody wants to use any of my videos or any of my photos or any of my content on their own channel, please feel free to do so. You don't even have to ask me permission. You can send me a link and let me know that you're doing it. That's totally cool. But go ahead and use everything, because this channel now is about doing the best we can to educate people about what's happening in Western North Carolina, because it is a total disaster. And like I said earlier, I am really sensitive to this subject matter because I've been the victim of a natural disaster, and I want to do what I can to help people who weren't as fortunate as I was, where with me there was a light at the end of the tunnel. Yeah, it took me 10 months to get home, but I finally got home. And I want all the good people in Western North Carolina who are suffering so terribly to be able to get home too. I am recording this on the day before Thanksgiving. And tomorrow's going to be a great day for a lot of Americans. They're going to be home, and they're going to be warm, and they're going to be comfortable, and they're going to be with friends, and they're going to be with family. And some people might think that they have nothing to be thankful for. Well, you know, giving thanks is more than just looking at your bank account or seeing how much Bitcoin you might have in your digital wallet, or all the possessions you have, or the great things that surround you. Sometimes you just have to be thankful for being in your home, no matter what kind of home you have, no matter how small, no matter where it is, to be able to have a roof over your head, to have your own toilet, to have your own sink, to be able to open up your refrigerator and make your own peanut butter and jelly sandwich. This is a big deal, everybody. It is a big deal. And you don't realize it until you don't have it. And that's what our fellow Americans are dealing with right now in Western North Carolina. Please check out the people I mentioned. I'm going to mention more in the future. I don't have time to do them all in one video, but I am going to do more. I'm going to mention all the good people that are on X. Not everybody has a platform on YouTube. I get it. Not everybody has a platform on X. Certainly not everybody is Joe Rogan. But we're working as a team here to let the world know that our fellow Americans are suffering. And we need to document it, and we need to do what we can to help them. Because if the shoe was on the other foot, we sure would want them to help us, wouldn't we? While you're watching this footage along the riverfront in Asheville, I want to read for you this letter written by Frank Fighting for Freedom to Governor Cooper, who is the governor of North Carolina. It is as follows. Dear Governor Cooper, I am reaching out to you with deep concern regarding the current situation in Western North Carolina following the devastating impact of Hurricane Helene. It's imperative that we address the ongoing crisis faced by these citizens who are left in vulnerable conditions. While I acknowledge the initial response efforts, the situation has taken a turn for the worse, with many residents now facing the harsh winter conditions by sleeping in tents. This is not only a matter of comfort, but of survival, as the snow and cold pose significant health risks to those without proper shelter. Governor Cooper, your leadership role in the state of North Carolina demands robust oversight and proactive measures, especially in times of crisis. The recent developments have led to public outcry and a sense of abandonment among those affected, especially with the announcement that the North Carolina National Guard has pulled out of the state. It is crucial to understand why. Despite the declared state of emergency and the influx of aid, the situation has deteriorated to a point where basic human needs like shelter are not being adequately addressed. Many residents who have been left without a home have verbally stated that they are considering taking their lives, as statement given to a reporter. I urge you to provide transparency on the following. What measures are in place to ensure that the aid promised and delivered is effectively reaching those in dire need? What steps are being taken, if any, to move people from tents into proper shelters, especially with the current weather conditions? How will your administration ensure that there is accountability for the oversight that has led to this situation? As the governor of these citizens, I implore you to take immediate action to rectify the situation, ensuring the dignity and safety of North Carolina citizens is prioritized. We look forward to your response and to seeing concrete steps taken to address these critical issues. Sincerely, Frank fighting for freedom and the American citizens supporting Western North Carolina. I'm putting a link below to sos-help.org for people in the area that would like a free Thanksgiving meal. Go ahead and go to that app and you can see, I'm at their site right now, 78 results in the area, starting with Liberty Free Will Baptist Church in Tennessee to the Light FM, Elvie and Dorothy B's Book Boutique in Spruce Pine, North Carolina, and other areas as well. Please check that out. I also would like to encourage you to go to the X account of Sean Hendricks at the Sean, S-H-A-W-N, Hendricks, H-E-N-D-R-I-X. I'll put that in the description below. You should follow him for disaster relief, survival, and homesteading. And this gentleman is doing a lot of great work helping people in the area, so check him out when you get a chance. If and when you ever get the opportunity to do so, please go to Western North Carolina and support local businesses. Even the chains, actually, because many of them are privately owned and obviously employ locals. So if you're planning to go on any vacations in 2025, please consider Asheville and surrounding towns. They really need our help. Please let me know your thoughts about everything that I've said and about some of the images that you have seen. Kindly remember to like, share, and subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell because there are going to be more videos like this one, and I hope you check those out too. Please check out the links below to learn how to support my research and productions. This channel is sponsored by my own company, CampfireShop.com, where you could order the highest quality, exclusive candles, herbal supplements, teas, and more. As of the time of this recording, Christmas is right around the corner. You love candles. Everybody loves candles. You love tea. You love herbal supplements. You may as well buy them from me. It helps to support my channel and for me to be able to shoot more footage like this. I would also appreciate it if you could become a member of my channel and or join me on Patreon, where you can watch exclusive walk-in tours of cool places that I've been to. And don't worry, they're not all like this. I've got plenty of cool historic homes and gardens that I've been to that I think you'd enjoy checking out. You could also leave a super thanks in the comments below. Kindly be kind to all of our fellow Earthlings, including humans, and please do not harm them. And please do yourself a favor and go to a local shelter and adopt a cat or a dog or both. You and they will be very glad that you did. Until next time, I wish you safe travels on all your journeys.